DIY, the first thing you're going to need is a canvas. I recommend the same size I'm using. If you have a twin or a full-size mattress, if you have a larger mattress, you of course want to get a bigger canvas. My particular canvas is 24 by 48 inches. For reference, I'll have all the supplies linked in the description box down below. You're also going to need some E6000 glue, 1 to 2 bottles of this, a black Sharpie or some black acrylic paint, a paintbrush, and then you're going to need 2 different colors of a wood stain. So I'm just using generally the same color in 2 different brands, just because the colors varied a little bit. And then this last one, you can get the matte finish, but you don't necessarily need it. That's kind of optional. You're also going to need just a basic saw, nothing too fancy, and then you're going to need some of these wood sheets. I particularly used 12 of these wood sheets, so again, I will link all of the materials I exactly used in the description box down below. And then lastly, you're going to need something to cover your workspace so you don't make a mess or get the wood stain anywhere. You want to begin the DIY by laying out half of your wood sheets, because half of them are going to be the first color of the stain. So here I'm just taking my very first color of that wood stain, and I'm putting a generous amount onto the first wood sheet here, and then I go back in, as you'll see a little later, and I take a paper towel and just kind of dab off the excess. But the idea of this concept is that you want to paint each of the wood sheets differently so they vary in color, which will make it mimic more of a reclaimed wood finish, which is what we're going for. So for the second one, as you can see, I just saturated it and I didn't dab it off with the paper towel. For the third one, I did something a little different. I kind of used as little of the wood stain as possible. Again, you want to make all of these look different. So then moving on to the fourth one, I went back in and used a generous amount of that wood stain, again, just to make it appear a little bit darker. And then for the last two, I just kind of put a small amount of the wood stain and then went back in and did dab it off with the paper towel. Now I'm moving on to the second color. Now this color was super dark, which turned out to be really good for this DIY, but I just began by making the first piece extremely dark, because that's just like how I like to start off, is making the pieces really dark and then gradually making them lighter. So I'd say the key here when painting these wood sheets is to make sure that they all just look a little bit different. So don't paint them exactly the same way. You want them to have a different variation, again, so it has that reclaimed wood feel. So I also went back in, took the other paint stain and mixed a little bit with the other paint stain that I'm using, basically a mixture of the two, because I found that this second one was kind of really dark. I wasn't sure if it would dry lighter. So I just kind of wanted them to be all in the same color family, but still look a little bit different. So that's pretty much all you have to do. Once they're dry, I just wanted to line them up on the headboard and see which different colored pieces I wanted to go where, because again, you want this to look really different and the different pieces of wood to just kind of flow together, but not all be the same color. So I'm starting off with this first really dark wood plank at the top, and then I'm taking more of a cherry wood color to accent it on the bottom. So how you do this is you want to line it up with the bottom piece and see how much of it you're going to use. I just marked it with the Sharpie, and then I just went and took my saw. It's pretty easy. You just kind of go back and forth maybe 2 or 3 times, and it just kind of breaks off. The wood sheets are really easy to work with. You might even be able to do this with scissors. Honestly, they're so slim, but I felt that that might break off the different wood pieces. So as you see, you have that little piece and it fits right in there. So that's pretty much what you're gonna do, is repeat that process. So you can just do whatever you want here. I basically did it all by eye, but make all of the different pieces of the wood sheets different. That way they almost fit together like a puzzle, and the colors are gradient and varying, but at the end it will all look really cohesive. So again, just do that, and this is what it will look like once you have all the pieces down. So I chose to lay them out first and then go back in with the glue. So all you're gonna do is put a layer of glue on the outer edges of the wood pieces, and then you're going to glue them down. And I bet you were wondering what else we were gonna use that Sharpie for. So you also want to take that Sharpie and fill in the little cracks. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that I have a reclaimed wood bed like this, and there are a lot of dark black pieces to it, so we're gonna make those here with the Sharpie. So that's pretty much all I did. Any holes or small spaces I filled in with that Sharpie. You could also use black acrylic paint, but it's as simple as that. You just want to glue down all the pieces, and then again, like I said, every now and then you want to add in little pieces of the Sharpie. This is just going to make it look even more realistic than it actually is. So you just want to go ahead and see, Right here I'm filling in those little pieces. You might have little cracks and things like that. So just take your Sharpie and take your time, but now I'm finally on the last one, and all you have to do here is just glue that last one down. I say that this took about 3 hours to dry, so once it's all dry, I went back in with my matte top coat. I just added a really, really light layer of this to my piece. Now this is completely optional, you don't have to do it. It doesn't make too much of a difference, to be honest with that. And once that's all dry, I just took 2 of these like tacks and I nailed them in and just hung it up onto my wall, and it's really sturdy. So yeah, that is all you have to do to create this reclaimed wood inspired bed. If you guys are familiar with my channel, it looks just like mine, so I finally figured out how to make it for you guys. If you decide to make this, please tag me and follow me on Instagram at Nostalgia, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!